another live stream. Just on the daily live grind because I just really enjoy doing this, supplying you boys with as much value as possible. And yeah, I hope by listening to these live streams, you are a happier, wealthier, more rip-roaringly successful version of yourself. If you're new here, my name's Kristian. I'm an alien sent by God to wake men up to the realities of the world and help them build a top 1% skill set so they can get more girls, make more money, and live a life that excites them. So I want to kick this one off. By the way, I've disabled the live chat for this video. Reason being is I like to have an uninterrupted stream of consciousness, and up to this point, the questions which have been asked are just complete nonsense. So I'm going to use a question which was actually posted in the comment section of the previous live stream. And the reason why I want to dedicate this live stream to, I hope I'm pronouncing your username right, Zay Dane. Zay Dane, the reason I'm dedicating this live stream to your question was because it's actually a really good question. Like, I thought the structure of the question was great. You displayed a lot of self-awareness as you actually type the question. Like, I can tell a lot from somebody just by the way that they write. And I always say, judge a man not by his answers, but by his questions. Okay, the bigger your questions, the further you're going to go in this life. So before we actually answer the question, let's just have a quick aura check. All right, if you know what aura is, I discussed it in a previous live stream. Aura is essentially feeling this sense of personal magnetism where you're compelling people without having to say a word. It's being able to emotionally intoxicate people just from your energy, just from your presence alone. How do we develop aura? I talked about it in a previous live stream, but one of the easiest ways is just to do difficult things, okay? So whenever you're listening to this live stream, have an aura check, okay? Every time you wake up, every time you leave the house, every time you're gonna go approach that girl, have an aura check. Like, how compelling are you feeling in this moment? And if you're not feeling crazy compelling right now, why not? All right. So one of the easiest ways to develop more of this personal magnetism is by doing difficult things. So myself and Ephraim, we had a weekend away in Nicosia for the weekend, and one of my personal mantras, something that I really want to work on this year, is shaking up your own status quo. Okay, shaking up your own status quo, like shaking your personal snow globe. You know, like when you get a snow globe, you just shake that thing and then it's like all the shit falls around. It's like a reset, right? So shaking up your status quo by doing difficult things. Now, if you're listening to this live stream and you feel lost right now, you're in a little bit of a rut, you're not quite sure what the next practical move is, just do one thing, right? This is the challenge that I want to set to you this week. Just do one thing this week that you wouldn't usually do to feel a way you wouldn't usually feel, okay? One thing this week. That might be doing your first ever direct approach, going over to a girl, delighting in her beauty. Excuse me, hi, I just wanted to say you look amazing. Like, that might terrify you. It terrifies most people. So that could be your thing this week. Maybe it's signing up to a class, like a improv class, a dance class, a comedy class, a boxing class, MMA class, a cooking class. It might be going on a long walk up a mountain, just screaming at the top of your lungs when you get there. Just do something this week that you wouldn't usually do, that your mind really doesn't want to do. And by dive bombing into discomfort and actually following through, like, that's the important point. It's one thing to set an intention, but I need you to push yourself and actually do the thing that you set out to do. And then you make a habit out of doing difficult things. And week by week, you start to develop more of this personal magnetism, right? You start to develop this aura, and people are going to come over. People are going to be attracted to you as soon as you walk in a room. You're going to have a gravitas. You're going to have this energy that people can't really comprehend what it is about you, but they just like you, right? They want to be around you. And I think that really is what game is about. It's making people want to have you in their lives, right? Being the sort of person who people are desperate to have in their lives, learning how to get what you want. The way you get what you want is by giving other people what they want. What do people want? Like, what does every single human being on this planet want? Like, what do they want? They want to feel good, right? They want to feel good. They want to feel important. They want to feel as though they matter, right? Just read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's like the best book that I can recommend. To just get started on this journey, because I appreciate we're all operating on our own timelines. And sometimes I need to check myself as well, because sometimes I say things which I basically, in my mind now, it's almost like common sense, but common sense is not common practice. And once upon a time, I didn't know this stuff. Like, we don't know what we don't know. So yeah, I apologize if I ever get a bit volcanic with my volcanic with my reactions. Like, your questions are so small, but that's just my way of trying to communicate things to you, because like, I genuinely do want the best for everybody watching this stream. Like, whether you work with me or whether you're not working with me, whether you're thinking about working with me in the future, you might just be in a season of your life now where you're starting to stack money, which is what I actually recommend a lot of young guys do. Just focus on stacking money, and then you can invest that purchasing power into people, networks, and experiences to continue to level up. Like, that's the whole point. Like, I know a very wealthy gentleman who lives in the USA, and one of the best things that he ever said to me was, make money to build wealth. But wealth is not just financial. Wealth is your entire lifestyle, right? The restaurants you eat at, the apartment that you live, the air that you breathe. Wealth is this holistic thing. It's not just, oh, I have this money in my bank now, great, I'm rich. It's like, you might be time poor. You might be an investment banker who's working in the city, and you've got 18 hours a day where you're just slaving away. You're getting no sunlight, and you're not able to train and make connections with people. That's a shit lifestyle, right? So it's not just about being money wealthy. It's like being time wealthy, spiritually wealthy. It's holistic. Anyway, that was a lot of value. We've only been on for 6 minutes. I feel like that 6 minutes is life-changing stuff right there. So give this stream a like. I think give the stream a big fat like, because that is 6 minutes of hardcore value, and we've not even started the actual topic. So yeah, give the stream a like. Lets me know that you actually appreciate the stuff. Right. Here's the question. It's from a gentleman called Zay Dane, who, according to YouTube, has been following me now for 1 year. So here's the question. It'll help you. Hey, Kristian, great video again. I'm a couple of months into my cold approach journey now. Have my ups and downs. I've made some observations. I want to know if you agree with them or if I'm just tunnel visioning. So like I said, that I really like the way he actually articulated this question, because it shows self-awareness, right? A lot of knobs online, they'll just be like, oh, I don't get results, blah, blah, blah. And they're just not critical thinkers of themselves. They'll blame like some external influence, like, oh, I'm not getting results from cold approach, what do I do? And it's like, you've not even taken the time to audit yourself before you ask anyone else for guidance. So yeah, shout out to you, Zay Dane. You're obviously, you've got critical thinking going on in your mind right now, because you're kind of thinking to yourself, right, I've observed, these are my observations. Kristian, what do you think? Are my observations correct, or am I just bullshitting myself? So yeah, just really good on the self-awareness part. So anyway, here's the observations that he's made. He's made 2 of them. First of all, women don't give you extra credit for approaching them, right? This is his first observation. Women don't give you extra credit for approaching them. They might say they do, but actions differ from words. You still go into the same stack of guys from Tinder and Instagram, etc., and she will then pick the best guy from the whole bunch. So he's talking about a sense of hypergamy here. So basically, the first observation he's making is, cold approach, regardless of what you're doing, you still go into the same bucket as other guys in her life. So that's the first observation that he's making. There's no right or wrong with this, by the way. There's no right or wrong. This is just his observations. And then basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to treat you, Mr. Zay Dane, as if we were working together, right? As if you were a member of my entourage. And I will talk to you like I would talk to a client. So hopefully this gives you a taste of just that one-to-one feeling. The second observation that he made was, you can't show the slightest weakness or doubt. Even if you're nervous, you're written off. Every time I was ultra player-like / fake was when I got results, unless I was the best looking guy in her lineup at that moment. I'll underline that because that's something we can pick out. I feel like a few years ago, avoid doing that. Women went for guys who were rough around the edges but had potential. But today, you have to be Superman. But today you have to be Superman. Let's just let that sit while I take a sip of the H2O. Sip, not slip. Okay. Yeah, a lot to unpack from this one. So I've actually made notes. I made the notes on the journey from Nicosia to Paphos. That 2-hour journey. I was making notes on the stream. So I'm just gonna read off my notes, just to provide a coherent sense of advice. So the first thing that you said was, you are 2 months into your journey, right? That's the first thing you said. You're 2 months into your journey. Bro. You haven't even fucking started, bro. You're like a baby still wearing diapers. So you're 2 months into what is effectively the journey of life game, right? And it's great that you're making these observations, but 2 months in, you really don't know what you don't know, right? Now, what I would say as well, and most people will get offended by this, but I don't think you will, because I feel like you're the person who can actually take constructive feedback. If you've only been doing this, like the art of seduction, the art of face-to-face communication, skyrocketing your social skills, if you've only been doing this for 2 months, you most likely suck. Like, you most likely just terribly suck right now. And that's okay. That's fine. Like, we all suck, right? It's like sucking your way through life is still better than not living life at all. But you're 2 months in to a long time horizon. So you most likely suck at the moment. Now, I don't know you personally, but I'm assuming you're also a young guy, right? Let's say you are a young guy right now and you've been inspired to start cold approach and you're 2 months into a journey. Like, first of all, I will say it's so good that you've gotten started. I'm just going to imagine you're 25. I don't know if you are, but I'm just going to imagine you're 25. You're 2 months into a journey at 25. You most likely just suck at the moment and you don't know what you don't know. I would argue, if you're 25 years old, let's say you're 2 months into the journey, you still got so much growing to do, right? You've still got so much life experience to accumulate. You're most likely still not the man that you need to be to attract the women that you want. However, just because you can't get some girls right now doesn't mean you won't get any. And the more you level up your life holistically, the more access of these girls you're going to have access to, if that makes sense. So point being, you need to play the long game with this, right? It's no good just doing it for 2 months and also assuming that you're doing everything on your own right now, right? That's one of the biggest mistakes that any guy can make, right? It is almost impossible to master the art of seduction on your own, right? If you're going out there with no feedback, no accountability, and no masculine support network of like-minded guys who are there to encourage you, give you feedback, and also push you, then you are pretty much wasting your time in regard to actually getting results from this. It's fine when you're just first starting out. Maybe you don't have your money up yet. Maybe you can't actually afford to invest in networks, experiences, coaching. It's fine to use cold approach as almost like a self-improvement exercise. It's fine to do that. But in terms of becoming the ultimate version of you, like the ultimate player, like the Ubermensch or the Superman, as you want to call it, you can't do it all on your own, right? You can't build an army of one, right? You need your army, you need your network, you need your brothers around you. So really practical for you as well. I would recommend that you need some sort of feedback, okay? So if you don't have money right now and you can't actually afford to invest in expertise, network, mentors, record the audio of your conversations, right? That's what I used to do when I lived in Leeds, when I was broke as a joke and I was living in that grotty apartment, which is all documented on my channel. I was recording the audio of my conversations. This is really useful. It's not so much to listen to what the girl's saying, but auditing yourself, right? The way that you're speaking, the way that you're actually delivering your value to the world, because that's all game is. Game is a vehicle to deliver your value to the world. So if you are still a young guy, you've still got a lot of life experience to accumulate, you're still not the man that you need to be yet. That's what you're delivering to these girls. So basically what you said was, women don't give you extra credit for approaching, right? Women don't give you extra credit for approaching. They may say they do, but actions differ from words. I would also assume that at this moment on your journey of masculine renaissance, you are restricted to one location. I would assume that that is correct. Feel free to correct me later on, but I would assume that right now you're probably a young guy who's living in a city somewhere, maybe in the UK, I don't know. And I would imagine that your only experience with women is coming from that one place, right? That's what I would assume. So you're making sweeping statements about the feminine when I would assume you've only experienced women in a certain ecosystem. So really what you should be saying is the women that I've met so far haven't given me extra credit for approaching, because the issue comes when you start making sweeping generalizations, like the micro becomes the macro. I did 20 countries at least last year, and each city, each country has got its own love language. So if you were to position yourself in somewhere like South America, so I was in Brazil, or Barcelona, or Krakow, or Milan, all of these places will give you different litmus tests. They'll all give you different outputs for your input. So the women who you're approaching at the moment, the women that you're meeting in your very limited experience of doing this for 2 months, maybe they're not giving you the extra credit for approaching because they simply have better options than you at the moment, which is why I said you might just not be good enough right now, right? To quote John Milton, Paradise Lost, evil is the knowledge that believes itself complete. We need to always have this thirst for acquiring more, being more, doing more. That doesn't mean that you can't make the decision to love what you have, but it's having this insatiable thirst to become more. So making more money, living an international lifestyle, skyrocketing your social skills, getting into impeccable shape, having great mental health, loving and respecting yourself fully, and having good mindsets towards women. But we're going to get onto that later on. So I would say for you, one of the most practical things I can say, even if money is tight at the moment, just have a weekend away to an alternative city. So for example, let's say you're in the UK right now. I don't know if you are. Let's say you're in the UK and you live in York, which is a very small city in the UK. Let's say you're based in York and all of your experiences are centered around York. Position yourself for one weekend in a different city. So go to Manchester or London. I would recommend having a weekend in London, soaking up the international hinterland of London, because then you're going to be meeting women from here, there, and everywhere, and you're going to be able to take different experiences and different women. And when you say that women are not giving me extra credit for approaching, I do believe it's to do with your location as well, because after traveling the world and meeting women from a variety of cultures, there's definitely some cultures which appreciate cold approach a lot more. So anywhere in Eastern Europe, especially Poland, like Poland is one of my favorite countries because the women are super feminine and it's also a very traditional culture. It's like the tradition mixed with the progressive. Like they appreciate a guy who has the balls to come over and actually start a conversation. They appreciate that traditional route. But let's say you are in an English city like York and you're speaking to a lot of like woke English girls, like they might not actually give you what you're looking for. And I'm gonna provide some more advice to this in a second, which is basically how you can become dangerous in 2024, which I also think is going to be helpful to you. But that's what I would say. So far, you're 2 months into a journey, which is basically your entire life going forward. You're only 2 months in, so you're still basically a baby who's going out there and trying to work the world out, which is fine. But you know, give yourself permission to suck, accept that right now you're probably not the man that you need to be, and understand that environment really is everything. Like one of the best things that I ever did in my life was investing in travel, right? Solo travel, having these Renaissance missions, these global expeditions across the world, engaging with different cultures, like having things go wrong, like actually navigating the inevitable vicissitudes of life. Like when I was in Brazil, my bank cards got cancelled. Like I couldn't afford to pay the second payment on my Airbnb. I was getting threatened to get kicked out. I couldn't actually acquire any funds. Like everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. But it's the whole like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And like I'm still here, I'm still alive. But like that's true self-improvement. Like self-improvement is not it's like flowery gratitude journal, meditate, red light therapy. Oh, I need to get my 10 minutes of cardio in right now. Oh no, I skipped my gratitude journal session. It's not that. Like almost like the ugly side of self-improvement is actually what improves you as a man. Like going out and shoveling snow in the winter, helping your mum like pay her fucking like the rent or something, or traveling and like having everything go wrong. It's like, okay, how do you handle stress? How do you handle this? How do you actually deal with the vicissitudes of life when you don't have your gratitude journal, your fucking red light or whatever it is? So yeah, that's true self-improvement. It's like the ugly side. It's like the masculine renaissance. And I think cold approach definitely ties into that, like just putting your balls on the line. The second observation that you made, one sec, I'm just gonna take a drink. While I take a drink, like the live stream just to show your appreciation. So the second observation that was made was you can't show the slightest weakness or doubt. Even if you're a little nervous, you're written off. Every time I was ultra player-like or fake was when I got results, unless I was the best looking guy in her lineup at that moment. Yeah, so I would assume that from the way that you write, you still have, and I had this for a while, so I understand where you're coming from. You still have this hyper obsession with male looks. And we spoke about this actually in our Entourage group coaching call yesterday. How basically men today have become absolute divas, right? Like men these days are more obsessed with their looks than women are, right? If you're getting outperformed by other guys in her immediate circle, like your mind matters more than your face. Right? It's not just because she's got better looking options. It's because she's just got better options across the board, right? It's like just having a pretty face, it might buy you 10 seconds of attention, but then when she actually gets to know you, your lifestyle, what values you hold, like your proclivity as a protector, i.e., will this person make a good father? Like, when she actually peels back the layers, if she discovers that you're just a good-looking guy, then you're just a good-looking loser. So I would caution you again, like, look, we should all be doing everything within our power to look and feel as good as possible, but don't think that your main purchasing power in the sexual marketplace is your looks, because when you do start traveling, when you go to these hyper-masculine environments like somewhere like Cyprus or Greece or Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, the purchasing power in every sexual marketplace is different. So like out here in Cyprus, myself and Ephraim are seeing guys who the black pill movement would regard as like, what do they call them? Like sub fives, like these guys like pot bellies, bald heads, like 5'4", and they've got like smoking women on their arms. Why is this the case? Because out here in these terrains, there is a different source of purchasing power. So this is why I try and get a point across that it's life game, right? It's not just going out and approaching girls. Like the approach, right? The act of the approach, that's the easy part, right? Remember what we said, game is just a way of delivering your value to the world. You build your value and then you use game as a way of delivering that value. Yeah, you can do both at the same time. That's what I did. Like the confidence you build, the bulletproof bravado, the ability to forge a new identity through the fires of adversity. Like I truly believe that the skills you acquire through cold approach will make you a millionaire. I truly believe that. I live my life like I'm already a millionaire. I just don't have the money in my pocket yet. But this is what cold approach actually does. Like objection handling, emotional resilience, how to deal with rejections. I just like keep going regardless. Like Winston Churchill said that success is being able to go from one failure to another without losing enthusiasm. And Ikkyu Sojun, this Japanese bloke, said, throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it. And like this is what the masculine journey is about, right? It is that forging an identity, a new identity through the fires of adversity. So I disagree, right? I disagree when you say that you can't show the slightest weakness. You're coming from a frame of competitive rather than collaborative. And this is most likely why you're sucking right now. You're almost, if you're 2 months in, then I don't care what anyone says, you're going out there to be validated. That was me for the first 2 years of doing this, right? I wanted to go out and I wanted women to like me, right? Anyone who says the opposite is lying because they want to act cool. That's what I used to do. I'd be like, yeah, I don't really care about, getting validation. I'm just going out there, trying to get girls. No. I was as insecure and as scared and as lost as they come. I still am to a large degree, but I've learned to just roll with it, accept it, right? It's the human condition, right? It's like I tried to run away from my emotions for a long time. I always chastised myself if I was going out there and I felt like, oh, I need to be validated right now, or I really want this girl to like me, or I had my heart broken. I was like absolutely crushed and devastated. I try and like masquerade as this personification perfection because I wanted to receive admiration from the masculine and validation from the feminine. And that's most people. Actually, I would probably say that's everybody, especially the guys who get attracted to this space, right? We all just want to be wanted. That's it. We want our presence to mean something to somebody. Yeah, we have that little boy inside of us, right, who's crying out for comfort. And I do think a big part of this journey of cold approach, of life game, of masculine renaissance is destroying that inner child. Maybe not even destroying, actually. I think it's about being a father to a former version of yourself. I think that's what it is. It's like when you get those doubts, when you get bombarded by the bullshit, when you have the avalanche of anxiety, it's just like almost like whispering to the child inside of us, being a parent to ourselves and be like, listen, I've got us now, right? I know you're scared, right? I know you're scared and I know it's scary. And I know that you're experiencing failure in advance. You're getting in your head and thinking too many steps ahead because you just want to be wanted. Yeah, maybe you didn't have the validation growing up from the feminine. Maybe like me, you grew up in a single parent household and it was on you very early to like make something of yourself. Maybe you've always had that chip on your shoulder. Yeah, I heard there was a Alex Hormozy podcast. He's like, there's 3 things that make people successful. First trait is they think they're better than everybody else. The second trait is they have crippling insecurity. Like no matter what they do, they never think they're going to be enough. That is 100% me. And then the third thing was like they have impulse control, so they can dedicate themselves at one thing for a very long time and not need any results for like 10 years, right? Most people are not prepared to do that. Like you're in the game right now for 2 months. Imagine where you're going to be in 10 years if you continue, right? If you continue to grow yourself, develop, build skills, invest in network, invest in yourself, travel, make new social connections, like think in decades rather than days, right? I heard Elon Musk say that and I was like, yeah, Elon, that's a great shout. He was like, thinking in decades rather than days. That's what I used to do. When I lived in that grotty apartment in Central Leeds, everyone was always like, oh, be present, be grateful for what you have. It's like, yeah, but bro, my present moment sucks right now. It sucks absolute balls. I'm grateful, of course. I'm grateful for the things that I have, but I always had these empire visions, right? And I still do. Like, I've just had this insatiable hunger because I've got this superior inferiority complex going on inside of me. It's like, I think I'm better than everybody else, but at the same time, I think I'm an unlovable piece of shit who'll never be enough for anybody. And at the same time, I also have impulse control, so I can dedicate myself to something for a long time. I was a magician for 10 years, right? I get obsessive about something. Like when I find something that I love, I get obsessive about it. It's the same with people, it's the same with social connections, it's the same with business. Like I find something and I go all in with that one thing. And that's what I would say to you, right? You say you're 25. I'm sorry, if you're not 25, I apologize, but you're 2 months into the journey right now, right? I need you to just go all in. I need you to think in decades rather than days. I need you to view cold approach as the catalyst for the rest of your life. Like all these skills that you're learning, you're becoming a multifaceted man, right? Every time you're going out there and you're putting your balls on the line, that is an investment into the identity that you want, right? That's a stream of consciousness. But yeah, in terms of the actual you feeling as though you need to be fake or like come across a certain way, I do think a lot of this is happening like in your mind because it's like if I'm not as I am, then I won't be accepted. But when I talk about something like state transparency, it's coming from a place of power rather than from a place of pessimism. So like if you are genuinely nervous when you're going over to a girl, I think the worst thing you can do is put on a mask of confidence, because at some point that mask is going to slip. And if she can't accept you in your current form as you are, then she was never the one for you anyway, right? I always say to guys, like most people get into relationships with strangers because let's say you do put on this facade, you do try and masquerade as this personification of perfection. What if you end up getting a relationship with that girl and then she realizes that you're not actually the guy who approached her on the street? It was just a 5-minute sales pitch. Yeah, so even though you might get more blowouts because you are just unapologetically honest, the cosmic connections you make with the women who accept you for you, bro, those are the women, like those are the keepers. And I think a big part of this, again, is being able to live internationally so you can have an abundance of experiences from an abundance of places. Joseph said to me, go where you're valued. Right? Go where you're valued. Like if I position myself in Brazil or Poland or somewhere in Spain, like I know from experience that the women there, they value me, right? I'm not saying that the girls in the UK don't value me at all, but I don't feel as valued as much in the UK. I don't. Like in the UK, I kind of just feel like, oh, I'm someone who lives in the UK, but when I travel, it's like I'm leveraging the foreign factor, I'm leveraging rarity, and also as well, bro, it's like I just meet more interesting people abroad because like when I put myself in these like international places and I invite my guys to come over and join me, it's like we're creating this inspired environment. It's like environment of necessity. Like I love going somewhere, not knowing anybody. And like the first night of being there, it's like, right, how can I become a local celebrity in this city? Like these are the sort of questions, right? Not just like, how do I approach girls in Poland? It's how can I become a local celebrity in this place? Like how can I become the most fuckable man who's ever lived in this city? Those are the questions, right? Those are the questions you ask yourself, because then it's like empire visions, right? Judge a man not by his answers, but by the questions that he has. So yeah, when you say something as declarative as you can't show the slightest weakness, it's not true, right? Alex Hormozy says, what do I believe to be true about the world that isn't? Like, it's all about how you're presenting yourself. Like if you are genuinely nervous, that's what I was going to say before. If you are genuinely nervous, you present it in a way which is not like, oh my God, like I'm so scared, you're so beautiful. It's like, oh, excuse me, I will be completely honest with you. I was shit scared coming over here. But you look really nice, and I would have regretted not coming over here. What are you up to? Right? It's the same thing, it's just packaged differently. And I think it's a comfort with yourself. Like the more comfortable that you get in your own skin, the more you love and respect yourself, and you have this abundance mentality of, if not her, then someone else. Or when you get blown out, it's like that is God operating on my behalf to let me know that this girl was not meant for me. Right? You only need one. Right, you literally only need one wife-worthy woman to create an incredible life with. I explained it before. All of this like multiple wives, multiple relationships. Young men are being fed this, right? They're being fed this by an industry. Self-improvement is a business to basically make you feel inferior unless you live up to this standard. I don't want to have multiple relationships with multiple women. I want one wife-worthy woman who I can go all in with, right? The majority of guys, they want to have these empty, shallow relationships because they're scared of getting hurt. Oh, if I have 5 shallow relationships, then I get the sex, but I don't get hurt. Rather than, I'm going to go all in with this one woman. I'm prepared at any moment for this to turn to dust. I'm prepared to have my heart broken into a million pieces because this is me following my truth. This is me following my bliss. Rather than wanting to want what other people want me to want, I want what I want, and I'll live and die by the sword, right? So just make sure that you are a critical thinker. Make sure that when you're being given information, whether it's information from me, the media, the news, your parents, or whoever, the fucking rabbits in the field, just make sure, like, always ask yourself, like, is this true for me? Or can I use this? Or is this valid? If it's not valid, forget about it. You know, like, you don't have to agree with everything. I don't agree with everything that other people say, but you just take different bits from everybody. So yeah, in terms of, you're just using the wrong word. It's not weakness, it's transparency, right? You're not weak if you're honest. Right? Like you've been conditioned to believe that if you're honest with women, then it's a bad thing, that you have to always play these games. It's like, bro, at some point the games do stop. Like if you actually do find a woman that you like, then I would much rather begin a relationship from pure authenticity rather than bullshitting my way into her life for them to find out at a later date that I wasn't the guy that I presented myself as. Again, people get into relationships with strangers. People marry strangers. I don't want to be in a marriage or relationship with a woman who basically I sold a dream to. It's like, this is me, take it or leave it. That's the mindset, bro. It's like, this is me, take it or leave it. And I said that I was going to give you boys a blueprint as well. For becoming dangerous in 2024. So let's say that right there was like the first act of the live stream. Hopefully your aura's feeling good as well now. Like my aura's feeling great. Like me creating content, like I view myself as an artist. This here, I'm not making content. I'm not making a video. I'm immortalizing my thoughts into a piece of art, which is then going to transform the lives of hundreds and thousands of radically ambitious men across the world. So, you know, viewing yourself as an artist. What are artists? Artists are brave. Artists don't wait for permission to sing, to draw, to write. They just do, right? Like, don't think, just do, right? It's like, you know, follow your instincts. Like, right, I want to do this. Great, do it. I had someone commented, like, what's Cyprus like? I'm thinking about going there. If you're thinking about it, then you need to do it. Right, I think that's what, because I've invested, like I said it on a previous live stream, I've invested tens of thousands of dollars in coaching, in masterminds and networks. And the interesting thing about all this stuff is like, I invest money, right? I invest a good chunk of money into these things. And I'm not investing thinking this one thing is going to change my life. No, it's never just one thing, but there is always, whenever I invest money, there is always like one nugget of wisdom which does change my entire life. But it's not just the one thing. It's like, take a bit from here, take a bit from there. Oh, here, that's good, is it? And then when you invest into networks, it's the people that you're positioning yourself. It's like, it's the people that you're meeting. Like, all of the money that I've spent in networks, in coaching, in investment, like the return on investment for that is just exponential. And people don't get that. Again, it's that scarcity mindset. Like, oh, if I spend money, then I won't be able to make that money back again. Like, you're in this poverty mindset where I used to be, where I used to see like spending money is a bad thing. No, everything you do is an investment, right? Make money to build wealth. Like, invest money into experiences, networks, coaching, because Hormozy always says, you'll either pay with money or you'll pay with time. People pay with whichever one that they value least. So for me, I value my time more than money, because money, I can make that money again. My time, I'm never going to get that time back. My time is a finite resource. So I would much rather pay with money, get results quicker, and I can enjoy my life, because, bro, eternity is a long time, right? We only get one shot of this life. Like, you can always make more money, but you're never going to get your time back. So that was like the interlude until we go on to how to be dangerous. Okay, How to be dangerous in 2024. So this is really leading on to that comment, okay? So imagine that you are a young guy right now, you want to get more girls, you want to make more money, you just want to become the most fuckable version of yourself. In 2024, how can you become dangerous? Because there was an interesting point where he was like, oh yeah, it was like, I feel like a few years ago, women went for guys like all this bullshit, like rose tinted glasses, like what's like oh what's that like oh fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Like where you're like remembering, having nostalgia for a bygone era is mental suicide. Right? I see so many guys in comments like, oh, it was easier 10 years ago. Oh, 5 years ago, yeah, but we're not 5 years ago anymore. We're now. So fuck what happened 2 years ago. Fuck if it was easier. You just need to get better. Stop lamenting for a bygone era that you can't access anymore. This is now. This is all that fucking matters right now, right? It's who you are and then where you're going, like the future, right? So stop talking about, oh, this happened 2 years ago. This girl rejected me 10 years ago. I used to suck, like, none of it matters. It's just now, right? It's literally now. Like, forget about, forget about it, right? Who gives a fuck if it was easier 2 years ago? The goal is not to get it to make life easier. It's for you to become better. So when difficult times do arise, you're dangerous and compelling and capable enough to actually respond to the world rather than crying your eyes out that it was easier 2 years ago. I don't want easy. I want to feel alive. I want to feel excitement. Yeah? Don't want fucking easy. Stop trying to sink into the comfort quicksand, because what happens is when life gets more difficult, people get weaker. So by you leveling up right now in January of 2024, by the end of the year, you're going to be light years ahead of the guys who gave up because it was easier a couple of years ago. So cut that bullshit out, bro. Stop lamenting over a bygone era. It don't fucking matter. But today, you have to be Superman. Like, whenever I read comments like these, like, you have to be Superman, like, you have to become top 1%, you have to become, as Nietzsche would say, the Ubermensch. I don't understand why this is a pejorative. I don't understand why this demotivates guys. The first time I heard about the concept of high-value man, which I think is just a ridiculous, cringy term, but let's just say, like, the concept of, like, the Ubermensch who is, like, excelling in every area of human existence. Like, if the Ubermensch is like that's aspirational to me, because most people won't do it. So like to say like today you have to be a Superman creates implication for me that you're not willing to put in the effort. And if that's the case, you're fucked, right? Like okay, you need to be a Superman, so fucking become one then, right? That's what I'm doing. Like, you're literally watching me learning and living and building out loud. Like, I'm documenting the becoming and not just the being. I'm not just sat here on my ivory tower in my fucking penthouse in Malibu being like, ha ha ha. That's not relatable. Like, you're seeing me build. Like 3 years ago, you can see the character development. I was living in that grotty apartment. I was on £24.82 of universal credit. I was broke as a joke. But by actually learning through the library of life and actually going out and putting this shit into practice, like connecting with wealthy, affluent, inspirational individuals, like mastering the art of cold approach, helping other people do the same, like building. It's not even a case of like this, like perfection is a fallacy, right? But we're most likely not going to become the perfect individual, but it's the pleasure is in the pursuit, the achievement is in the attempt, and the success is in the showing up. Clip that, that's good. But it's true. Like, you're never complete. You're just always evolving. But like just this way of ending a comment, like, oh, you know, you have to be Superman, you have to be the guy who's making 6 figures and has got a good body. Like, what's stopping you doing any of these things? You know, it's just that whole like, oh, it was better 2 years, better 10 years ago when you just had to do the London day game model. If you saw a tourist, oh, what I noticed about you was like, all that bullshit is gone. It's either evolve or get left behind. If you are lamenting over that bygone era, you are fucked. So yeah, like, who gives a fuck if you need to be a Superman? If that's what you need to do, then become one. Like, life is like a video game. Like, level up your character, level up your avatar. Like, it shouldn't demotivate you. Like, if you are an aspirational individual, right? Like, I'm always trying to send this stream of consciousness to a very specific individual, right? Because I appreciate the majority of people who tune into these live streams, they're either not ready to receive the information right now, or they'll never be. But there is a small percentage of my audience who I'm speaking to, and you know who you are. Like, you know, if you are that radically ambitious Renaissance warrior who wants to level up his life across the board, and when he's told that he needs to become 10 out of 10 in every realm, he thinks, fuck yes. Fuck yes, I need to go assemble my tribe. I need to be connecting with other individuals who are on the same path. I need to get mentorship. I need to have an international lifestyle. I need to cut out my own bullshit, all these toxic habits, like removing all of the unnecessary, like wanking off, scrolling TikTok, watching porn, watching the news, spending time around negative people. Even if those negative people are your family, you need to go. You can't be spending time with people. Look, your family, yeah, okay, they might want the best for you, but like, you need to get yourself out of those toxic environments. Like, you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and your environment really does dictate your entire reality. So if you're in a negative environment right now, like, you need to be busting your balls, not like from fucking wanking, but saving all of that beautiful sexual energy and channel it into a creative pursuit, becoming dangerous in 2024. One sec, let me take a coffee. It's a good stream. I'm enjoying the stream. I'm really enjoying these live streams as well, bro. Let me know as well if you think I should just continue doing these live streams every single... That would be... Do you know what? Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's do a live stream every single day for the rest of this year. That is another way of leading by example and practicing what I preach. Let's just do a live stream every single day for the rest of this year, right? That is my personal accountability challenge, right? Do I want to do a live stream every day? Am I going to want to? I might fuck, but I'm going to do everything within my power to do a live stream every single day for the rest of this year. Done. That's it. Like, intention set. Right, now that I've set that intention, I've got that accountability, which is why it's great. Like, if you're going to learn a language, just put that fucker on Facebook. Like, oh, I'm going to become fluent in Spanish in a year. Great. You put it out there now. You need to. So it's like, right, live stream every single fucking day for the rest of this year. I'm going to show up every day, even when I don't want to. Even when I'm not in the mood for it, I'll just let you in. I'll be like, yeah, I don't have aura today. My aura is not there, but I want to speak to you anyway because I want to show up. I want to turn up and I want to delight you beyond belief. So live stream every single day for the rest of this year. Let's go. I'm going to open this window because I'm sweating like, give me an analogy. I'm sweating like, you can make your own and just keep it clean. Yeah, like the video for that. That is a bold statement, Kristian. Oh, fucking hell, the dogs are out. Dogs are liking the video, bro. I should probably not do that. Fucking poodles are going to come and infiltrate me. Right, how to become dangerous. Shut the fuck up. How to become dangerous in 2024. First of all, we kind of spoke about it, but becoming dangerous in 2024. I'm going to close that because these dogs are going to get on my tits. Oh, you're just gonna have to watch me sweat. Okay, how to become dangerous in 2024. Becoming dangerous, it doesn't mean like going out there and wielding a chainsaw. It just means becoming a capable individual, okay? Who's able to do what he wants, when he wants, with who he wants. Clip that. The dogs, man. Yeah, so becoming dangerous, it's not about, wielding a chainsaw. Becoming dangerous is about becoming capable, being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. So the first way, in my opinion, what I've done is leveraging location and time freedom. Okay, so like if you're an aspirational guy watching this, then the best advice, like the thing that has changed my life for the utmost better, it's not really a fucking phrase that, is finding a way to make money online or make money remotely. Okay, so Ephraim, who has joined me out in Cyprus for the month, he's been able to do that because of his job. All right, he's a programmer. He can work remotely. He can do his job anywhere. So maybe you get into programming. Maybe you learn Python. Maybe you learn remote sales, like high ticket remote sales, and you can just make those deals from anywhere. And also, like, learning sales, I would say, is the best skill that you can learn alongside cold approach, because seduction is essentially sales. So if you're learning both, you've got this beautiful symbiotic relationship where you are going to become dangerous as fuck. Because also, if you get a job in sales, you're then in this inspired environment where it's like you have to make those numbers, otherwise you're out, right? That's a fun environment. Like that just gets me going. Like it's like you're creating an environment of necessity. It's like this has to work, right? This has to work. Otherwise I'm screwed, right? It's like you're not playing it safe anymore. You're not playing not to lose. You're playing to win. So yeah, leveraging a skill like sales. And then learning that in conjunction with cold approach. Seduction is sales. Game is learning how to get what you want. When you're going and presenting yourself to women, it's not just like cold approach. It's not just like street approaching. It's everywhere. It's life game. That was something that I wanted to say as well. Like, when you are learning this skill, I urge you to get off the streets as fast as possible, right? So the streets are a great place to learn, but you've been doing it for 2 months now. So start leveraging what you're learning in a multitude of environments. Like, go to social events, gatherings, like meetups, go to an improv class, comedy class, mixed martial arts, pottery, painting, pole fitness, whatever it is. And like, all this is delivering your value, right? It's the art of face-to-face communication. Day game is basically dating on hard mode. Like, myself and Ephraim, we're in Nicosia at the weekend. Ephraim approached this American girl, and then like they exchanged Instagrams. And then he basically made this connection for us. And then by the end of the night, we were on a double date. It was great. Like, we were on a double date purely from a daytime approach. We were just like sat at a cafe. Girl walks past us. Boom. Ephraim goes in, introduced himself. Like, da. They exchange Instagrams. Then by the end of the night, we're on a double date. This is why you need a network of guys around you, because guys can do the approaching on your behalf. Like, this is life game. This is holistic life game. Like, when you've got an army of aficionados, like when you're a member of a network, like my network, the Entourage, like, and you're traveling to different places with me, it's like we're doing it like we're a rising tide lifts all the boats, right? That's why I say, like, the perpetual lone wolf approach is not sustainable and it's not healthy. If you're just going out there on your own, like, oh, need to get my 10 approaches in today, you're fucked, right? You're just a low level, like, PUA. Like, get the fuck out of it. If you consider yourself a PUA, get the fuck off my channel, bro. Just get out. It's just such a low level discipline, right? It's life game. It's becoming the most fuckable version of yourself, leveling up your life holistically, and then using the art of face-to-face communication to deliver your value to the world. So maybe you are on the street. Maybe you're gonna go to Zara to buy a black blazer because you've been inspired by my black blazer. All right, oh, there's a girl. Oh, I can flirt with the girl behind the counter. I'm not trying to close her, I'm not trying to get a number, I'm just getting more aura, right? The more conversation I have, the more aura I stack, and then maybe when I'm at the gym, like the anecdote that I shared the other day, like meeting girls at the gym, then I can deliver my value and like, right? It's just like, just like zigzagging, ping-ponging, connecting the dots from every single angle. Streets are the perfect training ground, but yeah, don't just get stuck there, right? Don't just get stuck street approaching, right? This is holistic life game. So yeah, becoming dangerous in 2024. Leveraging international lifestyle, right? Every guy who's in my network, the Entourage, they have an open invitation to come and travel the world with me, right? This is an open invitation. So Ephraim is with me for a month. He's going to be coming to Argentina with me in April. Like, wherever I go, you're invited, right? Like, this is what it needs to be about. It's not just coaching, it's coaching, community, lifestyle, right? Like, it's holistic. So yeah, like, if you can find a way to make money remotely, make money online, then I believe that in 2024 is going to set you apart. Because if you don't like the place that you live, that's fine. You can make money anyway. You can go to Paris, you can go to Quebec, you can go to insert other place. Where else can you go to? You can go to Madrid. Wherever you want to go, you can go there because you're not tied to one place. Like, it's like you're not your location independent. And then this is what, like, after listening to this live stream, like, in terms of practical actions, I want you to just, as well as doing one thing this week that makes you feel uncomfortable, I want you to create a Renaissance roadmap for yourself, right? Like, just sit down with yourself, like, devoid of the distraction, devoid of the dopamine demons who are sucking all your energy away, and just ask yourself, who am I and what do I want? Like write down what your ideal reality looks like, and then write like a mission statement and write about yourself in the third person. If you write about yourself in the third person, it sounds like someone else is saying it, and therefore it just makes it stick. I've just found that it makes the affirmation stick more. So like, just write down what you want, and rather than doing like I want, write it in the present tense. I got that from Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. Rather than being like, I want to make 50K a month, you write, Kristian is making 50K a month, right? And then you read that to yourself like twice a day, once when you wake up, once before you go to bed, to remind you of the mission statement. And you become obsessed. You become obsessive. You start to see, you start to visualize it. You're telling yourself these things. It sounds like other people are saying it. And then we become what we practice. It's like, what would the most fuckable, abundant, carefree version of me do right now? And then do that thing. Yeah, it's like acting as if, praying as if it's already been done. So yeah, anyway, leveraging an international lifestyle, remote income, if you can do remote sales, programming, building an online business, starting a personal brand online, whatever it is, just find a way to make money online so you're not tied to one location. Again, this is just advice, do what you want to do. Like, this is just what I would, the advice I would provide to like a 16-year-old Kristian. It's fine if you disagree with all of this, it's just what I would do. It's how I, rather than how to. So once you start actually leveraging an international lifestyle, you're starting to make money online. And the thing is as well, boys, like you don't even need to be making a crazy amount to be living a fun lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people make it out online that you need to be making millions. Like you don't need to be a millionaire to be living a millionaire lifestyle. Like even let's just say like worst case scenario, let's just imagine you're making $1,000 recurring every month from your online work, right? You can literally get an Airbnb. Like the Airbnb that I stayed at in Krakow in August 2022, it was £296 for the entire month. 296. I paid no like utility bills. It was all included in that one fee. So like imagine that you're making $1,000 a month. That's your accommodation sorted. If you live in Europe, the flight's probably going to be about 80 to £100 return. Now you've got like £600 to live off. But like by putting yourself in that environment, you're going to be in this inspired location anyway. It's like, right, I'm making $1,000 a month. You've got that consistent revenue coming in. But it's like, okay, now how can I make more? Like what would I have to do to make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? Like find other people who are making more money than you, like networking with them. Like, do you understand? So it's like it's actually very doable. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I think people get paralyzed before they even start. So it's like, you don't need to actually live independently and actually live a fun lifestyle. You don't need to be making like millions and billions. You just need to find a way to be valuable, get people invested into your mission, make money, continue to provide value, over deliver, and then money just appears, right? Money just fucking appears. So yeah, just don't stop before you start. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Oh, okay. So let's imagine now. Let's just play it out. You're waking up. You're in your Krakow apartment. You're living internationally, right? You've got your recurring money coming in every month. Now you want to master the art of cold approach, because one of the biggest issues I see with guys when they do start living internationally is they don't know how to actually make connections, right? So like for me, traveling and the art of seduction go hand in hand. Like if you're traveling, it's because you want to meet people, okay? But a lot of guys, so I work with guys like 6 or 7 figure entrepreneurs, digital nomads, online workers, like, wealthy, affluent individuals who come to me because they still don't know how to communicate their value, right? So the typical guy who works with me, he's making about 6 figures. Maybe he's got an international lifestyle. He's like a busy city worker who's living in like a major city. Like he's got the money, but he doesn't have the ability to actually deliver his value, right? Maybe he was sold the belief, like brainwashed by the brain dead into build it and they will come. Right? It's not just having money, it's how you use the money. Money buys you freedom, money buys you spontaneity to actually be a fun person, have fun things, right? It's the thing that allows you to go on a double date and then cover the bill, right? Knowing that it's not always having, but knowing you can have. Like money's like the bedrock for a fun lifestyle, right? It's very difficult, in my opinion, to have fun if you don't have money, because you're always living paycheck to paycheck. You're always worried, oh shit, can I afford this? Like that's one of the worst things. Like money should never be a reason why you don't do something. Someone said that to me once and I hated them for saying it. Because I was like, you don't know what it's like to be broke. Money should never be the reason why you don't do something, right? It should just not be the thing. If the reason why you're not investing into yourself is because you can't afford it, then cold approach is the last thing that you should be doing, in my opinion. You should get a handle on your finances first, because once you've got a stable income coming in and you're doing something that you enjoy and it gives you the potential to work remotely, bro, that's amazing. Now we just want to get the skill down. So money should never be the reason why you don't do something. If you're in that position where it's like, I can't afford it, then it means that you're not valuable enough right now. And I understand that. And I'm not sat here being like, oh, I'm a multi-millionaire. I will be. That's how I'm operating. I'm already operating like I'm a millionaire. I don't have the money in my pocket yet. But like when you invest into things, that's the identity that you're investing into, right? If I choose to eat at the most expensive restaurants, I'm investing into that identity. And even if I am spending a little bit more than I feel is comfortable, it's going to propel me. It's going to push me. Yeah, if I get like an apartment in Buenos Aires and it's 3 times what I would usually pay, I'm waking up every day in that inspired environment. I'm waking up being like surrounded by my dreams. I'm waking up in my dream being like, fuck, better get to work today. Better just delight the Casanovians beyond belief. Like just give, over deliver, right? If I'm just living like, if I'm like, if I'm living like a peasant and like just like scrimping and being like, oh, I need to, just like fucking get the cheapest stuff. It's like that scarcity mindset is going to keep me stuck. Okay. Abundance is the antidote to all of your anxiety. So becoming dangerous in 2024, finding a way to live internationally, because you're not restricted to one particular dating pool, right? I hear stories from too many guys where it's like, oh, I don't like the women in my city. And they've been in the city for 20 years. It's like the women are not the problem. You're the problem, right? If you've got the means to leave, then leave. And I get it as well, it's like a comfort thing for guys. It's like, no, well, I've been here all my life. I don't really want to leave. Well, you can't complain. You know, it's either shut up and do something about it or just shut up. You know, that's as simple as it is. It's like, if you don't like the place that you are, then change it. We live in the world of opportunity, right? We live in the land of opportunity where you can make money from thing that you're passionate about. I'm living proof of that. There's so many people online who are doing the thing, but it's like, it's just getting started. It's like, you know, Renaissance roadmap. Who are you? What do you want to be? What does your ideal reality look like? Where, like, how does your life look 3 months from now? How does your life look like by the end of this year? What practical things are you going to actually do to get there? And then just remind yourself of it every single day. It's no good just like getting a spike of dopamine from one of these live streams and do nothing with it. A week later, you're still wanking off to the same porn you were wanking off to 10 years ago. It's like, it's pointless. You're not doing anything. So living internationally and then mastering the art of cold approach. Like, if you are that wildly ambitious individual, and like, I just know people as soon as I meet them, like, yeah, this guy's got it. Like, this guy's got aura. This guy's got in place. Like, you can do both at the same time. Like I was saying before, like, if you're learning cold approach and it's like seduction is sales. So it's like you're kind of doing both at the same time. It's like you're learning how to sell yourself and then you're learning how to sell products. It might be a good idea for you to sell someone else's product first and then create your own product on the side. I didn't do it that way. I just went onto YouTube, you know, document, create, give, and then I would sell my own product. But it's up to you. Whatever's easier for you. I'm not a financial expert, as I usually say. So yeah, leveraging online, like leveraging the internet, leveraging a way to make money online, and then mastering the art of cold approach. So actually, when you do position yourself in these new environments, you know how to meet people, right? Like, the worst thing that you can do is start solo traveling and then live exactly the same as you would back home. It's like that Chinese proverb, wherever you are, there you go. So like shaking up your own status quo, which is how we started this live stream actually. If you get to a foreign country, let's say you've just arrived in Tbilisi in Georgia, bro, that first evening is the most important. You cannot just stay in your nice Airbnb. Like, if you booked an Airbnb and you're paying like 5K a month and you're like, oh, well, Kristian said this is an inspired environment, so I'm just going to stay here and like, you know, just like be at home and watch Netflix. No, you need to get out. You need to meet people. Like, you need to actually position yourself in the environments where you're going to meet people. And that's why mastering out a cold approach is so important, because then you know how to actually meet people, right? Like, guys either have money or they have the skill of cold approach. Very rarely you'll meet a guy who has both. When you have both, it's a match made in heaven, because now you've got money. You're not stressed about paying for dates, treating your friends, looking after your family. Oh, you know, this accommodation, I can afford that now. And then when you can actually bring people into your life, it's like, oh, this guy's cool. This guy's got money, but also he's actually not boring. Like, most rich people, and I know this from experience because I've worked with them, most rich guys suck with girls because they lead with their wallet. They think, oh, all I need to do is stack cash and girls are going to be throwing themselves at me. It's not the case. You need both. You need all of it, right? So it's come back again about, you know, being the Uberman, being the Superman. Like, it shouldn't demotivate you. I just want to become the most fuckable version of me this year. Yeah, I turned 27. When was it? Like 10 days ago. Turned 27 10 days ago. And bro, like, I'm just pumped. And I give credit as well to these live streams. Like, they're really firing me up. So international lifestyle, make money, learn how to make it remotely, master the art of cold approach, and then the third thing to become dangerous is to become part of a network, okay? Become part of a network of like-minded guys who share your views, who share your vision, and who can push you to become all you can be. I will say it here, my time in Cyprus would be nowhere near as productive if Ephraim didn't hop on a plane to come and join me, right? I'll just tell you a story because I think this is very relatable to most people. For the final 2 months of last year, I was living in the lodge in the Lake District with my mum, right? I was living with my mum in our lodge in the Lake District for 2 months, and what I found was when I was at the lodge, life was comfortable, right? I was with my mum, you know, we were going on walks. It almost felt like I was regressing in a way, back to like a child again. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mum was there, you know, we'd have our days out. I'd go see some other people in my family. It was just nice, right? And then I remember, I don't actually think I've shared this with Ephraim, but I remember like, probably like for the first 10 days of me being in Cyprus, like that little boy inside of me, he just wanted to retreat. Right, he just wanted to retreat back into this cozy apartment. Like me and Ephraim had spoke about, right, we're going to do weekends away. We're going to go to Limassol, Nicosia. We're going to go and, you know, explore the island. We're going to document everything, like just like go, you know, have fun. And like, really, like all I wanted to do for the first phase of time while I was here, like a big part of me just wanted to, like, you know, be on my own, almost like retreat back into the womb where it was like warm and cozy. And like, without Ephraim being here to push me, like, I don't know how long it would have actually taken me to get away. And this is me just being completely 100% transparent with you. It's like we become what we practice, right? So because I was having very limited social interaction in the Lake District, I almost reverted back to my old, like introverted, incellular self. And like, even for me, like I needed someone else to like bring me out of that rut, not by talking to me, but just by doing shit. Like when I knew he was on the sprint field or he was at the gym or he was talking about like going here, there, and everywhere, I was like, Kristian, fucking hell, wake up, bro. Right? Like just wake the fuck up. So yeah, like it's life is not linear, right? It's not linear. Like I'm not a superhuman. I'm not an Uberman. As much as I want to try and portray that image to myself and to you, like I have my moments. Like I have those like deep depressive states where I just want to be on my own. Why I just want to shut the world out. Why I just think, yeah, I'm not worthy right now. I'm not good enough for anybody. Like, why would any girl want me? Like, woe is me. And it takes people, I think, you know, to actually bring us out of these places. But yeah, my time in Cyprus would be nowhere. Like, I think actually, this is like, I don't really like to use the word happy because it's quite a soppy word, but this is genuinely the happiest I've ever felt in my life. Like, it's so nice. Like, you know, I'm waking up in my dream. I'm creating valuable pieces of art. I'm connecting with you. I've got my boys. I've got my network, the Entourage. Like people look towards me as a figure of authority, and that authority has been earned. Like there's so many people online these days who want to present themselves as figures of authority, but they've not done anything. Like if you look at the etymology of that word, authority, what word does it have inside? Author, right? Author, meaning proof of work. An author is someone who's created something. How do they create it? Through experience, right? Through the library of life. So when someone has authority, it's because they've got proof of work. So an author, like written a book, for example. So like, you know, my authority, I've led by doing. Yeah, like I like if I'm watching dating content or if I'm watching cold approach content, if I'm watching content online like how to get girls, I don't want to listen to a talking head, right? Go on the feed and it's like 200 videos of them sat in the room. That doesn't appeal to me. Or if someone's giving me business advice but they're broke, or if an 18-year-old is telling me how to be confident, it's like, bro, you don't know anything about confidence. You've not lived long enough. So like authority, having that authority, I think, you know, it feeds into my ego. Of course it does. But like in terms of like actual like fulfillment and happiness, like, yeah, I feel the happiest that I've ever been right now. And a big part of that is the people who I've got in my life. You know, like I've got people now who I can pick up the phone to, and I know they're going to be there for me in the same way that I'm going to be there for them. Not just fucking day game, but like, you know, if we're actually going through stuff, like, you know, being there for people. So that's the third thing, becoming dangerous. You're not going to build an army of one. You're not going to do all this on your own. Like, you're going to have to take the actions anyway. So you may as well do it with someone who's going to get you there faster. And then if you can introduce you to people who are on the same path as you. Like I try and say it in every live stream, it's super difficult to find like-minded guys in this industry who are not fucking weird. There's so many guys who do this whole like cold approach day game. It's like, they're on this like other side where it's like this pickup side where it's like, oh, how many approaches did you do? I did 800 approaches this week. I didn't get anything. Oh, I need to do like it's so mechanical and so robotical and so systematic that I just don't associate with it. And that's fine. Like it's not me being like, oh, these people are weird. Like kind of is me saying people are weird, but like that we just don't resonate. You know, it's like we just don't resonate, and that's fine. But yeah, becoming dangerous in 2024. It's leveraging an international lifestyle, becoming part of a network of guys and mastering the art of cold approach. When you do go to these places, you know how to actually bring people into your life. And also just mastering cold approach allows you to leverage like social connections. Like if you're sat on like an aeroplane, you can just strike up a spontaneous conversation with somebody. That one conversation could allow you to like 50 extra income if you talk to the right person. You know, positioning yourself in the good places. Like once you actually start making money, you can then position yourself. You can take the first class flight. You can stay at the most expensive hotels. You can eat at the most expensive restaurants. It's an investment into the identity that you want to build, right? It's like the people that you're going to meet there, the experiences you're going to have, how you actually feel when you're there, like that feeling, that energy that you're amassing, you're projecting that, you're signaling to the universe. Like if you go out and you just approach the hottest girls, that's what you're saying to the world. It's like, I'm saying that I deserve this, right? Like in life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you think you deserve, right? The mind is everything, right? It's your mind. Your mind matters more than your face, right? So yeah, cool. What time are we on? 14:41. I think that's everything. I think that's been a really, again, these live streams, fuck me, incredible value. Yeah, if you're watching this on repeat, then make sure to drop it a like. If you do have, if you have questions, which are as good as this one, like well-structured, well thought out, critical thinker, then just drop it in the comments after this. Like I genuinely do want to answer questions, but I only want to answer questions which are like actually valuable and will actually change your life, right? Like, I don't mind if someone asks me like, oh, where's your blazer from? What shoes do you wear? Like, you know, like, I don't have a problem like just responding, but like, bro, come on, empire visions, think bigger. You know, like, ask me good, juicy questions. Like, look, this is fair, right? This is fair. I'm committing, right? I am committing to you to do a live stream every single day for the rest of this year. So I think it's only fair if you're gonna ask questions that you actually make them good. No, fuck that. Great. That's only fair, right? If I'm giving my time to you every single day, I think it's only fair that you actually ask questions which are going to change your life. So if people do ask just low frequency questions like what's the best open or how many approaches to get like all this bullshit, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't even have access to a version of me that would once upon a time have empathize with it. It's like, I'm not a service provider, I'm not a day game coach, I'm not a day gamer, right? I'm a freedom from bullshit practitioner. I'm a fucking alien sent by God to wake people up, learning this decentralized skill set of the awake 1%. I'm a Renaissance warrior, changing the fucking world one person at a time. So yeah, please just ask me good, juicy, great, superb questions. We increase the ferocity of the adjectives. I can't say good again, man. But yeah, no, hopefully this one's been good, boys. I've really enjoyed it. I really love spending this time with you. Hopefully it gives you an idea more into who I am, the person behind the persona. And yeah, the final thing I'll say as well, if you're watching these live streams consistently, like if you're following my content, if you're part of the email list, if you've bought the free course, if you've downloaded the free course, then a part of you is thinking and is considering working with me. This is me being completely transparent with you, right? If you're consuming my stuff, if you have reached a point where you know, like, and trust me, then it's because a part of you is considering working with me, right? So I want you to actually entertain this more. I don't want you to become another mindless consumer who just consumes, like, it's not going to do anything, right? It's about transmuting information into implementation, right? I've said it to you before. It's almost impossible to do all of this on your own. So rather than pissing your time away, trying to figure it all out, invest in people who can actually help you. And it doesn't have to be me, right? If you resonate with someone else, then invest into them. But don't be the lone wolf. Don't be the guy on his own, just try to think, oh, well, I can do all this on my own. Like, you're wasting your time, right? So like I say, it doesn't have to be me, but just find people, find network. Even if it's just like one other guy in your city, if you find another guy in your city who's on the same frequency as you, and you can hold each other accountable, and you can go on trips away together, and like, that's great, right? Like, two people is better than one person. So yeah, look, if you resonate with me, you like what I do, you want to join our exclusive network, there's a link below. You get VIP access to my lifestyle, you get mentored by me personally, in person, then you become part of the network, then you've got an open invitation, a VIP jet set pass to come travel the world with me. Like, wherever I go, you've got an open invitation to come join me. So yeah, I'm not building a business, I'm creating a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle I would love you to be part of. So yeah, click the link below, book in a free 30-minute consultation call. We'll see if you're the right fit for the program, and if you are, get to spend time with me, get to spend time with Ephraim, all the other guys in the Entourage, get part of our weekly group coaching calls. It's just a fun time. Now, I think that's what it should be about. Like, this should be fun. If you're having fun while you're learning, then it's going to accelerate your growth. So yeah, well done. I'm going to speak to you all tomorrow. I love you very much. Make sure that you like this video. Yeah. Yes. Right, stay sexy.